got just 3 minutes before we're going to start our practice here. And I would like to discuss the power of repetition in yoga. So when I first became a yoga teacher, I was very concerned about making sure that I changed up the routine, the practice every day. And this is an important part of yoga, making sure that you have variety within your practice so that you can reach all of the muscle groups and make sure that you're getting a full body workout, which yoga is supposed to be. But there are many different yoga practices that actually do the same routine every single day. Bikram yoga is probably the most famous of them. And it is actually also really important to find some sort of repetition within your yoga practice, because if you don't repeat the same poses more than one time, pretty often, then you're not going to be able to progress in them and see where you've become more flexible and stronger. But repetition also does something else for the mind. When you are coming into poses that you recognize, that you feel comfortable in, and flowing from one pose to another in a way that you're familiar with, it allows you to go a little bit deeper mentally and to enter a little bit more of a state of meditation. So within my practices, within my flow, I like to stick to the same sort of overall flow rather than having the same exact poses every day. So every day we'll do a little bit of warm up, either starting on our backs or in child's pose, and then come into cat-cow and do some sun salutations. Then we go into the warrior poses and some balancing poses. And then we have our cool down on the belly and on the back, and sometimes seated positions there as well. And the other important thing to remember about repetition and the power of repetition, the importance of repetition in yoga, is that if you don't come into poses on a regular basis, you're going to start to lose some flexibility. Whereas if you do find some poses regularly, you'll see a much greater level of retention in your flexibility and in your strength. For example, when I come into a seated forward fold, just let the legs out, inhale, hands up, and then folding forward over the feet. If I've come into this pose every day recently, then my forehead can touch all the way down to my legs. But I find that if I skip that pose, even just for one day, then I no longer have the flexibility to reach and touch my forehead down to my legs and my knees. Now, this is important because I can get all the way down there. It's just the place where I notice that I lose that flexibility when I don't have the repetition. So if you feel like you're doing the same things over again, and it's pretty repetitive, don't worry about it. That's a really big and important part of yoga. And you can just settle into the pose and just try to notice where you've progressed since the last time you found that pose. All right, let's begin today on our backs. Just find whatever is the most comfortable laying down position for you. You can have your legs straight out. You can have the soles of the feet together, or you can bring your legs into the easy pose position. And settle into your mat. Get really comfortable. Feel the ground beneath you, supporting your body. Notice all the places where your body is touching the earth. And then also notice the places where you're not touching the earth. Maybe you have a little pocket in your lower back, underneath the neck. and the wrists and the ankles. And then let yourself sink into the ground just a little bit more through all those points of contact. Close your eyes and begin to call attention to your breath. Start to deepen and lengthen each breath. With every inhale, fill your lungs filling up to maximum capacity. And with each exhale, push out every last speck of stale air. Start to listen for your yoga breath, the ujjayi breath in the back of the throat. Should sound like the ocean, moving in and out. Gentle rhythmic sound. Focus on the sound of your breath, allowing it to fill your mind completely and push away all other thoughts. Bringing your awareness fully into your body, here and now, at this moment, between the four corners of your mat. Start to do your body scan. From the crown of your head, slowly work your way through each body part, one at a time. There's no need to change anything here. You're just noticing how we feel before we begin to move our bodies. We can be extra careful of anything that doesn't quite feel right, anything that's not quite 100% today. Moving into your face, notice how your forehead is feeling, how your jaw is feeling this morning. Then go through the back of the neck, into the shoulders, down through the arms, into your elbows, wrists, and fingers, all the way to the tips of the fingers. And then go through your spine, into your upper, middle, and lower back, moving into the hips, and finally through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through, remind yourself of any injuries you have, old or new, and remember that you're always welcome to take a break during your practice or modify any pose to suit how you're feeling at this moment. Just making this practice your own and listening to your body. Remember that every body is different. We all have our own genetic makeup and a unique history within our bodies. So everybody's going to look different. And the most important thing to remember as you go through your poses is to listen to your body and do what feels right to you. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Blink your eyes open. Draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees. Curl into a tight little ball. Squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. And find your kneecaps with your hands into some circles. Giving your lower back a little massage on the ground. And find circles going the other way. Let's make our way into a shoulder stand. Point your toes straight up towards the sky. You can place your hands flat on the mat behind you. If this is enough, you're welcome to stay right here. If you want to come a little bit deeper, start to peel your lower back off the mat. Support the lower back with the hands. And then begin to bring your toes pointing straight back up towards the sky. It's okay if they're not perfectly straight. They're still pointing out a little bit over your head. Just find that point where you feel comfortable. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, coming into plow pose. Release your feet overhead, reaching towards the ground, but they don't need to touch. You can release your hands back on the mat behind you to help with balance. We're still pretty cool here. We haven't warmed up. We're going to come back into plow pose later on. You can notice what the difference is just through one yoga practice. On your next inhale, come back up to shoulder stand. And release, bend your knees, lower your back down to the mat. Tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and rock and roll on your back. Forward and back a few times along the spine. And make your way into easy pose. Kind of like sitting crisscross applesauce. If you can, open up your knees and your feet so that both knees and both feet are touching the ground with nothing overlapping. If that doesn't seem accessible to you, that's okay too. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding over the feet. Keep your spine nice and long. Stretch your fingertips out in front of you and relax your forehead down towards the ground, rounding out through the back. On your next breath in, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Float your hands all the way up overhead. Interlace your fingers, and then turn your palms pointing up. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, gently stretching down towards the right. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Go like that a couple more times with the breath. Inhaling up to center, exhaling down to one side. Just go with your breath. One more time. Come back up to center, breathing in. Exhale, hands together and come to heart. Release your hands down to your lap. Do some gentle circles with the neck. These can be faster or slower, big circles or smaller circles, whatever feels right to you. And find circles going the other way. Bring your head back up to center. Reach down and switch your legs. Whichever leg's in the front, push it to the back. Back leg comes down in front. One more time, folding over the feet. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck down and round out through the back. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest, float your hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, twisting to the right. Drop your left hand across your right knee and reach your right hand back behind you. Lengthen your spine as you breathe in. Go deeper into your twist as you breathe out. Come back to center, breathing in, hands float up. Exhale, twisting around to the left. Left fingers come behind you. Right hand crosses over the left knee. Take a deep breath in, stretching your spine really long. And go deeper into your twist as you breathe out. Come back to center, breathing in. Hands come up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Make your way into your hands, knees tabletop. And then adjust. Bringing the wrists right below the shoulders and the knees right below the hips. Start to move through your cat-cow, always going with the breath. As you breathe in, belly drops down, roll the shoulders back, gaze comes up or forward. On your exhales, pushing the spine up towards the ceiling, one vertebrae at a time. Relax your head and neck down and bring your gaze through your knees. Keep going just like that. At your own pace. Letting your breath be your guide. On your next breath in, come back to a neutral spine. Exhale into downward facing dog, tucking the toes under. Lift your hips up. Find that nice, comfortable downward facing V, upside down V. Hands and feet both about hip width distance apart. You can pedal out your knees here, find some movement. Bending one knee down towards the ground and then the other. Check in on your shoulders. Make sure to keep your shoulder blades sliding down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. Head and neck should just be dangling down towards the ground. 3 sun salutations with the breath. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hopper step between your hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in, lifting up the torso. Try to bring your torso parallel to the ground. Exhale, folding forward, relax the upper body down. Inhale, rise into standing, bend your knees, letting your arms dangle down, roll your spine up, and then lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the right. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the left as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Standing back bend on your exhale. Really gentle with the neck. Straight back up, breathing in. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from the hips. Stay really strong in the legs. Take your whole exhale to come down. Half lift as you breathe in. Pull the shoulders down the back, opening up the chest. Exhale, double dip, chaturanga. Plant your hands. Hop or step back to your high plank. Double dip, lowering down halfway. Keep your elbows right next to the rib cage. Don't go below your elbows. Up dog or cobra as you breathe in, coming onto the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up to downward facing dog. On our second sun salutation, we're going to do our side stretch towards the left first. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step to the front of the mat, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale, rising up to standing, bend your knees, let your head dangle down till your spine comes up, and then lift your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch again to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace the fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down towards the left. Up to center as you breathe in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, coming to center. And standing back bend on your exhale. You can cactus the arms or bring your hands to your back pockets. Straight back up again, breathing in. Exhale, forward fold. Leading with the chest, keeping a nice long spine. Half lift, breathing in. You can bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Exhale, double dip, chaturanga. Plant your hands, hop or step your feet back. If you like, you can drop those knees down to the mat. Up dog or cobra, breathing in. If your legs are on the ground, keep a bend in the elbows. Exhale, downward facing dog. One last salutation. No side stretch this time, just straight up and down. Bend your knees, look forward to your hands, take a big breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift to breathe in. Forward fold, breathing out. Inhale, coming up to standing nice and slow. Arms float up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Straight back down. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, diving forward, hinging from the hips. Nice and slow. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip, chaturanga, breathing out. Try to keep the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you lower down. Inhale, coming to up dog or cobra. Pull the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Lift your right foot high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping your foot through between your hands. Rise up on an inhale, making your way to warrior one. Front toes are pointing straight forward. Back foot is at about a 45-degree angle down on the mat. The whole sole of the back foot should be rooted down to the mat. That back pinky toe edge sometimes likes to peel up when you start to pull your front hip, your back hip forward. So as you're pulling your left hip forward, just make sure your back foot is really, really stuck down on the mat, especially along that pinky toe edge. Try to bring your hips as close as you can to being squared off towards the short end of the mat. Make sure that front knee has a nice deep bend in it, right over the ankle. Once you've got your legs all situated, inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Coming into humble warrior, take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, sweep your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers, push down, puff up the chest, take a deep breath in. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck, and then peel your arms off your back. Push through the hands, feel your shoulder blades. Bringing your feet perpendicular to each other, front heels intersecting the back heel or the back arch, hands stretching straight out in either direction, front knees still right over that front ankle. Nice deep into that front knee, peek back on the back hand, sometimes it likes to droop down when we're not looking at it, and bring the gaze over the front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks going with the breath. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring your hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior 2. 4 more. Notice every movement, every muscle working together, nice and slow. 3, just going with your breath. It's your own pace. You don't have to stay with me. 2, I'm just counting so you know where I am. And last one. Coming into triangle pose, straighten out the front knee. You want to scoot that back foot just a hair closer, making sure to keep your feet still perpendicular to each other. Send your hips toward the back of the mat. Stretch your right arm forward. Take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine. Exhale, make a quarter turn down with your arms, bringing your arms perpendicular to the floor. If you have a block, you can always use that block underneath your front hand here. At any height is fine. In front or in back of the front leg is also fine. And if you don't have a block or you don't want to use one, you can just rest that front hand against the front leg. Check in with your back left hip here. The most difficult part of triangle is keeping that back hip really open towards the side wall. It kind of wants to fold forward towards the floor. Push it back in line with the body. Imagine that your whole body is between 2 walls that are very close together. On your next inhale, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame the front foot. Send your right heel high as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. You can keep your back foot up or drop it down. Drop the knees down if you like. Up, tiger cobra, breathing in, drop your foot down. Pull the chest through the shoulders. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up. Downward facing dog. And on the left heel comes high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, stepping the foot through between the hands. Rise up on an inhale to warrior 1. Back foot's coming down at about a 45-degree angle. You can peek back, make sure that back pinky toe edge is really glued down to the mat, and then start to pull the right hip forward. Check on your front knee, should be directly over that ankle. Hips while keeping that back pinky toe edge glued down. Once you've got your legs situated, inhale, lifting the hands up overhead, turn the pinkies in, keep the shoulders moving down the back. Coming into humble warrior, take a big breath in here. Exhale, sweep your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers, push down, puff up the chest, take a deep breath in. And exhale, fold forward, leading with the chest, keeping a nice long spine. Relax your head and neck down. Peel your arms off your back, push through the hands up towards the ceiling to feel your shoulder blades sliding down your back. On your next inhale, rise back up to warrior one. And exhale, open out, warrior two. Pivot your back foot around. You might want to open up your stance just a little bit here. I always want to widen my stance from warrior one to warrior two. Make sure that front knee is still right over the ankle. Sometimes the front knee starts to fold down towards the big toe side of the foot. Push it back in line. Make sure that leg is perpendicular to the floor. Peek on the back hand. Bring it nice and high. And then bring your gaze right over the front middle finger. 5 yoga jumping jacks on this side. Inhale, knees straight, hands up overhead. Exhale, slowly making your way back to warrior two. 4 more. Nice, slow, deliberate movements. 3, every muscle in your body is working together. 2, and last one. Triangle pose, straighten out the front knee. Scoot that back foot a hair closer if you like. Send your hips toward the back of the mat, stretching the left arm forward. Take a deep breath and lengthen the spine. Exhale, making the quarter turn down with the arms. You can always find that block again here on either side of the leg, underneath your right front hand, or just rest your left hand against the front leg. Arms should be perpendicular to the floor. Check on that back right hip, making sure your right hip is really open towards the side. If it's okay on the neck, you can bring your gaze up towards the upper hand. On your next breath in, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Left heel goes high to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up dog or cobra as you breathe in. And downward facing dog on your exhale. Let's take a little rest here. Drop your knees down to the mat. Push your hips back to your heels. Make your way to child's pose. You can have your knees together or open up your knees a little bit, put some space between them. Relax your forehead down. Arms can stretch out in front of you or wrap back towards your feet. Palms facing up, just letting the shoulders drape over the knees. Close your eyes here. Find your way back to a nice, strong, deep breath. Listening to your breath inside of your head. You should still have that nice, loud ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath, filling up your mind. If your hands are wrapped back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you. Open up your knees just a little bit and start to crawl your fingertips forward, coming into puppy pose. Lift your hips up. Hips can be right above the knees or just behind. Reach your chin or chest down towards your mat for a nice, gentle back bend. On your next breath in, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest, make your way to hands and knees, tabletop. And bring your knees together to touch. Send your right foot out behind you, like you're stamping it into a wall. If that's enough, you can stay right there. And if you want a little bit more, you can lift your left arm up as well, stretching your fingers out in front of you. Take a big breath in here, stretching really long. Exhale, coming into a little crunch, elbow to knee. 4 more times with the breath. Inhaling, stretching it out. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3, 2, and last one. Inhale, stretching your leg and arm out really long. Exhale, release just your hand down to the ground. Tuck your left toes under. Inhale, lifting your right foot high. Open up your hip. Bend your knee back. You can bend and straighten that right leg a couple times. If you'd like, you can come into a wild thing here. If you don't want to take wild thing, just meet us in down dog. Roll onto the pinky toe edge, the left foot. Drop your right foot down off the mat behind you. And then straighten out your left leg and start to turn your hips open towards the ceiling. Let your right arm come arcing down overhead. If it's okay on your neck, you can just relax your head back. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, rolling back over to your 3-legged dog. Send your right heel high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Stay low. Bring your gaze forward. Take a big breath in and out. On your next breath in, lift your left knee high. Arms float up overhead. Exhale, warrior 3. Send your leg out straight behind you like you're stamping it into a ball. Arms come out wide like airplane wings. Drop your gaze down to the floor. Everything but that standing leg is parallel to the ground. And you can bend your standing knee just a little bit to help with balance. Take one last big breath in here. As you breathe out, release your hands down to the ground. Try to lift your left foot even higher. And then drop your left foot down on the mat behind you, rising up on an inhale to warrior 1. Let's come into pyramid pose here. Straighten out the front knee. Open out your arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, fold forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop your gaze down to the big toe. Imagine you feel strings pulling your arms straight out in either direction, pulling the crown of your head forward. And take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Here's another chance to use those blocks underneath your hands. At any height is fine. And just plant your hands on either side of the foot. Relax your head and neck down over your front knee. Check back in with your back leg, especially that back pinky toe edge, making sure that whole foot is still glued down to the mat. And then you can notice what's going on with the front knee. In pyramid pose, the front knee is traditionally straight. If that's not accessible to you, that's okay. You can gently bend and straighten the front knee. Just noticing. Pose. Plant your left hand on a block or on the mat or right next to the right foot. All weight comes to the left hand. Inhale, lifting your right arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. Arms come perpendicular to the floor. Gaze comes up towards the upper hand. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your right hand back down to the mat. Inhale, lifting your. Exhale, double dip chaturanga. You can keep that right foot up or drop it down to the mat. Up dog or cobra, drop the right foot down. Big breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Let's do that whole challenging sequence on the other side. Drop your knees down to the mat. Coming back to hands and knees tabletop, and bring your knees together to touch. Send your left foot straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. If that's enough, stay right there. If you want more, right arm can come up as well, stretching your fingers out in front of you. Take a big breath in, stretch really long. Exhale, coming into a crunch. 3, 2, and last one. Inhale, stretching your arm and leg out long. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the mat. Tuck your right toes under. Inhale, lifting your left foot high. Open up your hip. Bend your knee back. Bend and straighten that left leg a couple times. You can come into wild thing or just meet us in downward facing dog. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Drop the left foot down off the mat behind you. Straighten out the right leg and turn your hips open towards the sky. Head and neck, release back. Left arm comes arcing overhead. Take one last big breath in here. Exhale, roll back over to your three-legged dog. Send your left heel high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Stay low. Bring your gaze forward. Take a big breath in and out. On your next breath in, lift your right knee high. Arms float up overhead. Exhale, coming into warrior 3. Right foot goes straight out behind you like you're stamping it into a wall. Arms come out wide like airplane wings. Everything but that standing leg is parallel to the ground. Bend your standing knee just a little bit to help with your balance. And then drop your right foot down on the mat behind you at a 45-degree angle. Right up on an inhale to warrior 1. Big chin, let's come into pyramid pose. Straighten out the front knee. Open out the arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. In either direction. Crown of the head stretching forward, lengthening the spine. One last big breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your hands down to the ground or down to your blocks if you like. You can just plant your hands on either side of the foot. If you don't want to use the blocks, relax your head and neck down over the front knee. And notice what's going on with the front knee. You can have a straight knee. You can find some stillness, or you can find some movement, gently bending and straightening that front knee. Notice how it feels on the back of the leg as you push the knee back towards straight. You never have to get all the way there, just listening to the body. Coming into revolve triangle pose, right hand comes right next to the left foot on the mat or on a block. All weight comes to the right hand. Inhale, lifting your left arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. Stack the shoulders, stretch the left fingers up to the sky. Check back in with your right pinky toe edge, making sure it's still really glued down to the mat. Take one last big breath in here. Exhale, release your left hand back down to the ground. Send your left heel high, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Up darker cobra on an inhale. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Come back to your high plank upper push-up and then drop your elbows down to the mat, making your way into a forearm plank. We're going to do some dolphin push-ups here. Take a deep breath in here. On your exhale, lift your hips up, coming into dolphin pose, like down dog on your forearms. 4 more times with the breath. Inhale to your forearm plank. Exhale, lifting your hips up to dolphin. 3, just go with your breath at your own pace. 2, and last one. Come back to forearm plank on a breath in. And lower down all the way onto your belly, taking a little rest. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Or you can rest on a cheek, head turned to one side, and wrap your hands back towards your hips, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Find that nice, strong, deep breath again. Bring your chin back to the mat. Coming into locust pose, interlace your fingers behind your back. On a breath in, push down through your hands to peel your chest up from the mat. If it's okay on your back, you can lift your feet up as well. Keep your gaze really low on the ground in front of you. One more inhale, lifting even higher. Exhale, release. Again, you can stack your hands and rest your forehead. You can rest on a cheek and turning your head the opposite way as it was turned the first time. Bring your chin back to the mat. Hands come right underneath your shoulders. Inhale, push your chest up and make your way to a seat. Send your legs out long in front of you, coming into head to knee pose. Bend your right knee, bringing the sole of the right foot right against the left inner thigh. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward over the left leg. You can reach for the foot. If you can't reach all the way to the foot, you can also rest your hands on the mat on either side of the leg or just on your leg. And then relax your head and neck down over your knee. On your next breath in, walk your hands back to lift your chest up and switch sides. Send your right leg out long, bending the left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot against the right inner thigh. Inhale, hands up high. Exhale, folding forward, reaching for the right foot. You can grab the foot. You can just rest your hands on the mat on either side of the leg, or plant your hands right on your leg. Relax your head and neck down over your front knee. Notice how this side feels different from the other side. For me on this side, it's much more difficult to rest my head all the way down on the knee. I think my right hamstring is just a little bit tighter than the left. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, lifting up your chest. Bring both knees pointing up towards the sky, hands come behind you, fingers pointing towards your hips, and then gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. Boat pose. Point your knees straight up towards the sky. Let's start by just clasping our hands outside of the legs and lengthening the spine. Stretch your spine up really long and tall. If this is enough, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, tuck your fingers inside the creases of both knees and then lean back to float your feet. Again, you can stay here with your hands inside your knees, or you can release your hands. We're just going to stay here today. Try to hold it for 5 breaths. This is one of those yoga poses where you might start to feel yourself shaking. That's totally normal, just means your body's working. One last big breath in. And release as you breathe out. Make your way in. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees, squeezing into a tight little ball. Release your head back down to the mat. Open up your arms wide in a T and float your legs in a tabletop. 90 degrees in the knees and hips. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, let your knees fall down gently together towards the right, all the way to the floor. If that feels uncomfortable, you can always put a block underneath your knee, so it's not so straining on the knees, pulling it down more than you want to go. Right fingers can tuck inside the crease of the left knee to help the legs stay down, and bring the gaze over to the left hand to complete your twist. Release your right arm back out to the side. Inhale, lifting your knees up to center. Exhale, dropping them down together towards the left, all the way to the floor, trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help them stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Let's come back into a shoulder stand. Just notice how this feels different from the first time we came into a shoulder stand at the beginning of practice. Point your toes straight up towards the sky. Plant your hands flat on the mat behind you. You can stay here if that feels like enough, or you can try to lift up your back off the mat as well. Peel the back up, supporting your back with your hands. And then bring your toes back to point straight up or as close as you can come. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, releasing your feet overhead, making your way into cloud pose. You can release your hands from your back and set them back on the mat to help with balance. Notice how this feels different from the first time we came in at the very beginning of class when we were still pretty cool. On your next breath in, come back into shoulder stand. Exhale, release, bend your knees, lower your back down to the mat, and make your way into Shavasana. If there's any last pose you'd like to do that we didn't get to today in class, you can take that now. Happy baby, anything else. Otherwise, just find the most comfortable laying down position you can. Any of those options we had at the beginning of class are fine, or anything else. You can even lay on your belly if it doesn't feel good to lay on your back for some reason. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulder blades down the back. Bring the chin into the chest and rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. Once you find your most comfortable laying down position, release your body. Feel all the tension melting out of you. Feel the ground supporting you. Release your breath, making your way back to natural breathing. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go. Like fishies swimming by you in a river. You see them and then they swim away, they disappear, to be replaced by something new. And a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open. Start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.